Hello, welcome back to Simple or Difficult. In today's video, we are going to be creating this. This is what we're going to be creating in this particular video. If this is your first time on this channel, welcome. This is Simple or Difficult. We create scenes like this, right? Sometimes we model it from the floor plan, but in this particular video, we are going to be modeling it from this image. And I will be showing you just how, so that you can create this image alongside me. And also you can, whenever you want, go online, on the internet, on Instagram, on Pinterest, download any image you want, for practice purposes. You recreate them, you try to, recreate the light and then the atmosphere, the ambience of that particular scene. Okay, so without any further ado, let's just get started. All right, so before we get started, right, for beginners, before we get started, there are some things I want us to actually set up. Okay, so first of all, head over to Customize, right? You have opened your 3ds Max like me. As you can see, I'm using 3ds Max 2024, right? That is one I prefer to use. You can use whatever version you like. All these things are, similar. You're going to have the tools that, as you can see here, up here you have the menu bar. Here we have the tools that you use to navigate. Okay, you may not have this. This is Finish FD. It's a plugin that you add. All these ones here are scripts. There's a video I've done on this channel where I showed you how to use scripts. So you can go ahead, and check that out and then install your scripts. All right. I even went ahead to tell, you, my viewer, the scripts I like to use that makes my life easier, while working in 3ds Max, right? This is the Relink Bitmap, the copitor, the image comp helper, that's the prune scene, that's a roof generator. Okay. I might do a video about that. Comment in the comment section if you want me to do that. Now, this right here is a plugin, D5 plugin. This is what you use, to export your 3ds Max scene into D5 so you can do animation. Doing animation in D5 is pretty much easy, okay? You can try that out. All right, you can link your scene, you can export it. Anyone you want to do is okay. Okay, over here you have that is another tool. There's a plugin that I installed. Okay, you have Corona here and you have the V-Ray, right? For the purpose of what we are doing today, you are going to be needing Corona, okay? Corona renderer, which is this. You need to have it installed in your system and also V-Ray installed. You don't even need to pay for V-Ray. Just download, the software, put it in your system, install it into your system, right? The reason why this is important is because when you are working and you get a model you want to use in your scene, be it sofa, be it television, whatever it is, sofa, carpet, curtain, okay? And that model happens to be in V-Ray, V-Ray material, and you want to quickly convert it, right? So you need to have V-Ray in your system, in your 3ds Max, installed into your 3ds Max as a plugin for you to be able to do that. Right, so without any further ado right now, let's just get to it. So Customize, click on Customize, come over here to Unit Setup, right? You're going to see this, set up your unit, metric. Make sure you're in metric and then make sure it's in millimeters. Open here again and make sure you're also in millimeters, just like my own is. Say okay and then say okay. Right, so I'm going to come over here and then open this. I like working with 2 viewports, like side by side like this. That is what I prefer, okay? But you can also, make use of 4 if that is what you want to start with. But 2 is okay, do what I'm doing. Now come over here to Tools and then turn on Scene Explorer. If you have yours already here, it just leave it, right? But for those of us that, each time we open our 3ds Max, the thing disappears, you can always bring it back from Tools, Scene Explorer, and it's back. Okay, so let's bring in the image that we want to use, right? So this is the file. All you have to do is drag it in, okay? Drag it into this place like so. Now, when you drag it in, this dialog box will come out. It will ask you whether a bitmap file was dropped into a viewport. Apply the file as. It's asking you what you want to apply the image that we just dragged into this viewport. Okay, we want it to be a viewport background, not an environment map. So we're going to uncheck an environment map and then say okay. Now, when we do that, it comes in like this. Let me get rid of the grid. To get rid of the grid, hit G on your keyboard. Over here, also hit G on your keyboard. I don't like working with grids. Sometimes when I need them, you just hit G again and it comes back. But for now, let's get rid of them. Now we need to, now let me just bring back the image that we imported again so that you see. Okay, over here, you're going to see that this image is actually a vertical image. But when we are looking at it here, it is looking squished, right? We need to fix that. And to fix that, all we have to do is come over here, select the image, and then take a look at this place. You're going to see the aspect ratio of the image, right? That is 40 by 4999. Have that in your mind. And then we are going to come over here and we're going to turn on our save frame. So Shift F on your keyboard to do that. Okay. When you hit Shift F, it is going to turn on save frame, right? Or you can just, come over here. Let me see. I've been using shortcut for a very long time. Okay, over here, you can see it. Shift F shows save frame. Now we are going to go into the render setup. Okay. Click here or you just hit F10 on your keyboard. That is going to bring out the render, setup like this. So what we need to do is come over here to the common. You see output size, right? Drop it down, put it in custom. In the width, I'm going to type in 4000. In the height, I'm going to type in 49999. Okay. And then lock it, right? When you lock it, you can now go ahead and come out of there. So we have the right aspect ratio. The image is showing properly the way it should show. Right. So the next thing I want us to do now is to, get on with the modeling. But before we do anything, I would like for us to go ahead and draw a box in here. Okay. Make sure it's in perspective mode. That is where you hit P on your keyboard, or you can just drop this thing down by clicking on it and then selecting perspective, right? So when you select the perspective mode and then the height of this box, first of all, let's use the height of the sofa, as our guide. Okay, so that is the height we're going to give the box. Now, usually sofas are, it can range between 300 to 450, depending on what you are, getting. But the type of sofa I actually using here, this type of sofa is between 300 and 400. Okay, but if you come down here, you're going to see it 390. So let's just call it 400 for the purpose of what we are doing. So I'm going to just come over here and then type in 400 millimeters. Okay. And then here, just gonna reduce these ones a little bit because, all right, hold on a minute. Let me just delete this and, model it from top down so that we know exactly what we are dealing with here. Right, so it's at 0 now. That's very important. So what I'm doing now is I'm holding the middle mouse button, holding it down, and then dragging it. That is enabling me pan around. So I'll pan the box down to where the sofa is. And then I can use the scroll wheel to zoom in a little bit. But before I do that, I need to ensure that the height of this is 400, right? It doesn't really matter what these ones are. We're going to adjust those ones later when we get the right angle. Okay, so now the next thing I want us to do is to do perspective match, right? When we get the right perspective, then we can set our camera and then we can start modeling, right? Before, when we are modeling from the plan, usually what we do is we just, model and then we set camera. But now we're going to set camera first before we do the actual modeling. And to set up this camera, what we need to do first is to come over here to the utilities. You see perspective match. Click on it and then click on show vanishing lines. Okay, if you click it's going to hide it. Click on show. So show vanishing lines, this is going to show. So I am going to take this over here and then start adjusting. When I start adjusting, you see the things start taking shape. Like you see the box will now start moving around. Right? So we're just going to do it roughly now. Get it in there. Okay, but then when we do it now and want to fine tune it, what we need to do now is to click here and then go into pan zoom mode, 2D pan zoom mode, so we can go closer and then fine tune this our perspective match. Okay, just click this plus button. It's going to show you the 2D pan zoom mode, and then you put it there. So this one, we're gonna keep it here, and then this one, we're gonna keep it here. Right? You can take it, make it longer to ensure that you are on the right track. So over here, we'll keep it on the black line. All right. Okay, here too. Now, if your image is not that clear, there is a way you can make your improve the quality of your image. Okay. But what I have now, I can actually manage it. But to show you, okay, to show you what I mean, you can come over here in the viewport configuration and you can increase the, the texture, the background, viewport background environment. You can make it like, say, 1080, right? And then say, okay. That is going to improve what you are seeing already. You can see. And so I have to move this thing down. Or you can make it 4,000, depending on what you want. Okay, you can make it 4,000. And then apply. Say, okay. That is going to, you can see that it is now crisper. You can see when I zoom in now, you're seeing things better. Here now, you can see the thing better. So normally I wouldn't really touch, but I just wanted to show you how you can adjust that, for you to be able to see it clearly. Okay. So that you can set your what is it called again? You can set your perspective match properly, more accurately. Right? So I think that is it. Now I'm going to come over here, click on this, and then exit this mode. So I'm going to bring this here and then zoom in till I get, you can see that the box has taken the, what is it called? It has taken the perspective of the chair. You don't have to touch these blue ones. You can see they are straight. They have to be straight. So you leave them straight, and then with everything the way they are, right? Let me ensure that because this is it at 0. Let me just keep it here and confirm. So I just want to zoom in just a little bit, then pan it down. Right? With the zoom tool, you can see me zooming in just a tiny bit. Right. Because this has to start from the ground, not the entire sofa is what is 400, not the cushion place. So that's what I'm trying to make sure that I get in order. So yeah, I think this is it. So what do we do next? We make this into a camera view. And how do we do that? Before I do that, let me go ahead and ensure that everything is highly in order. Okay, let me move this thing up just a tiny bit. Yes, exactly. So these fine details are important, right? So when you get them right, your angle are more accurate. Now, with this now set, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to come over here. You're going to see, create Corona camera from view. Make sure you're on this view. Then you click on this. When you click on this, you have created a camera, right? You have created a camera. Yeah. So from now, we can now start modeling. We're going to start off with a box. So I'm going to just draw a box on this floor. and then raise it up. Okay, what we are going to do, we are going to model, this box as if we are inside it, right? So I'm just going to select this and then move it around till we get to the right place that we need to be. You can see I want this angle to align with the angle of that wall, and then the floor, everything to align with everything. Okay, so I'm just going to move it. Okay, here is this one, and then move this one this other way. Right, so I'm going to reduce the height of this box. Okay, I think the stuff shifted a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and delete everything. Right, what is that? Delete this. And then we're going to do the perspective match again. Okay, so we have to be very careful with this. As you can see, it is very sensitive. Right, so when you try this and you don't get the angles right, don't feel free to, I would have cut this thing out, but I want to show you the things that might happen when you're trying to do perspective match. We finished and we just clicked the create camera and this thing shifted. So we are back here to make sure that you can see, we are back here to make sure that everything and are in order. If yours didn't shift, if you get yours accurately, then there's no need for you to do what I'm doing right now. Well, mine shifted because when I was adding the box, they weren't aligning properly. So I had to undo everything that I've done to come back to this place. You could have just deleted the camera and the box. So now I'm going to ensure that this is actually straight. Okay, I want these vertical lines to actually be straight. So you can actually come here, set it from here. All right. So this one I'm going to do from here. So here, this window. Okay. So I'm going to come out of this pan zoom mode. Right, so I'm just going to come over here and then I'm going to click on this. Okay, so let's see. Let me start with the creation of the box immediately and see what we're going to get. I think it's so much better now. So much better. So I'm going to change this thing to editable poly. Right, and I'm going to start moving things around. No, not this one. This. So when I get to this place, okay, you can see what I'm doing. Now I'm at the wall, right? I'm at the wall. So I have to move forward a little bit. Okay, not like that. Okay. This side, as you can see, they are almost 100% aligned. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch to polygon selection mode, select this place, hold down shift, and drag it across. And I'm going to do the same for this side. Drag it across. Okay, so that is going to enable me create that, this wall and then an opening. So I need this camera to be inside the building. So I'm just going to drag this till I get into the building here. This same thing, I'm going to move this back a little bit. Right? As you can see, this doesn't really align. So what to do, I'm just going to adjust, I think, this side just a little bit. Sorry, I think it's okay. I just think it's okay. Now, this thing sometimes may not give you the 100% accuracy, but it's going to get you so close to what you're doing. Now I know that if I should measure the height of this, it is going to be around 4 meters, right? It's going to be around 4 meters. You can see 4.2. Okay, so it's through this perspective match that I'm able to get something very close to this image. Now, if I should change this thing from wireframe mode, let me just delete this box. From wireframe mode to clay, you're going to see we have the room already. If I F4 on the keyboard, you're going to see the room. This is where we have the window. I'm going to add that window shortly, and I'll be showing you how to do that. Right, so, but when I change this thing from clay mode to default, you're going to see that inside of this box is black, right? Outside is white and inside is black. That is because we need to flip the normal of this box. And when we do that, the black part of this box is going to be outside, while the, this part that is readily available to receive material is going to be inside. So to do that, to flip the normal of this box, select it, come over here to the modifier list, click on it, and then type in normal. Right? Type it in, this will come out, you click on it. Immediately you click on it, it is going to flip the normal. So now when you look at this place, you're going to see we have the white part inside and the black part outside. Right? But all these things, when I apply material, you may not know the difference, but trust me, you need to always do this when you're doing this stuff. So let me put it back in wireframe mode, so we'll be seeing the image we're modeling from. Now, the next thing I want us to do is to create this window. We have 2 windows, one here, one in the part of this, what is it called? Part of this image that we are not going to see, but you can see the effect. You can see the light that comes in from that window. Okay, so then we are going to model this television wall, model the console, model the floor, and then the ceiling. After that, we're going to import all this model, and then we'll call it a day. Now, let's move on. So first thing first, let's create this opening for this window, right? So I'm going to, with the box still selected. Okay, I'm going to put it on the front elevation and then hit 2 on the keyboard. Okay, I cannot do that. The next thing I want to do is right click, convert, because hitting 2 on the keyboard would have put me in edge selection mode for the sub-objects. But then because of this normal above here, I will not be able to access this shortcut till I convert everything to editable poly. Now, when I convert everything to editable poly, this geometry retains that, the thing that the normal helped me do, which is to flip the normals. But then the normal is gone. So now I can just hit 2 on the keyboard and I'm in edge selection mode. You can see edge. Okay, 1 puts you in vertex, 3 puts you in border. Can you see? 4, you can see the thing changing, that is polygon. Then 5, that's element. Right? These are selection modes that you can use to adjust your geometry. Right? So I'm going to put it in 2 back, that is the edge selection mode, and then select everything like this. What I need to do now is to connect, use the connect to, then hit it once. When I do that, it's going to draw this line. Okay, this is the line we are going to use as our window, the headroom of our window. So I'm going to raise it up till I get to the edge of that window. As you can see, that is where it is. So I am going to, because this is, floor to ceiling window, so we don't need to create another one for the ground. So I'm going to create vertical ones now. And to do that, all I have to do is select here, drag it down like so, and then click the convert, and then click the connect rather. Oh, not like this. Control Z. So I'm going to, face like this. So I'm going to click connect. As I'm moving it here on this place, I'm looking over here to see where I am. So I'm just going to move it till I think somewhere there is okay. So I'm going to do another one. Mind you, you can do this and then make the line come out too. Okay, but I don't want to complicate things. So let's be doing it one by one. So I'm going to click here. Okay, because of what we just did, it is set to 2 now. So let me just Ctrl Z. Remove that. Sorry. I thought because I cancelled it, that is not going to be an issue. All right, so I select it again. Yeah, I think I've solved the problem now. So all you have to do is just select the line and then click connect. It's going to create, a line in the opposite direction. So you see the way I selected horizontal line, it created vertical lines for me. When I wanted to create horizontal line, I selected it this way, which are vertical lines, and it created horizontal line for me. So that's the way, create the openings for these windows. So I'm just going to leave this one here. It does not really matter. What matters is that you are creating opening as far as your eye can see. When the time comes, you're going to put your curtain to cover it a little bit, just like I've done. Okay, so I'm going to create another opening. But before I do that, let me just go ahead and apply a material to this thing. So I'm going to create a default material. I'm going to use Corona physical material, and I'm going to just make this like 4. Roughness is 4. That means the glossiness is 0.6. Just the way I want it. I'm going to color it just a little bit, just a little bit. I think this is okay. So I'm going to apply this on the box. So now it is visible, but I can't see the line I just created, which to solve this, I have to come down here and add edge faces. That is going to show me the lines that I've been creating all along. Right. So I want to create another window here. So first of all, I need to get the width of the window that I just created. All right. So you don't need to do that, but I think doing that is going to save you a lot of stress. When you're editing the window, you're going to put here, you need to just, when you're done adjusting those window, you need to just take it to this other side easily. So that's why I want to get the measurement. And to do that, I'm going to use plane. Right. And then I'm going to turn on my snap toggle. Right, this is it. There's a video I've done on this channel where I broke down exactly what snap toggle is and how you can use it to make your life easier when you're modeling in 3ds Max. I'm not going to talk about it in depth in this particular video, so I suggest you go and check that video out to understand fully how you can maximize, and enjoy your modeling in 3ds Max with the help of, 3D snap toggles, 3ds Max snap toggles. There are a bunch of them in here, but for the purpose of what we are doing, we're going to be using this 2.5D, right? So we're going to set it up. Just in case this is the first video you're watching on this channel, just uncheck whatever it is you have checked on in here, and then check this for stuff. Now come over here to this option and enable axis control. This is very important. Like I explained in the video where I explained snap toggle modes. This is very important when you want to model and you want to restrict what you are, trying to create in a different, in a particular axis, right? So we're going to leave it at that. So I'm going to close it. Now I'm going to start my plane. Now I'm going to click here or hit S on your keyboard, S for sheep on your keyboard. That is going to enable it. Now you can see, because I have snap toggle turned on, you can see the thing is trying to snap, to things. And the things they are trying to snap to are the things that we just checked on. You can see edges. These are the edges we created right now. It is snapping to them vertices, endpoints, and midpoints. Those are the things that the snap toggle will snap to. So I'm going to use it to easily create, the plane that I want to create. So when I come over here, you're going to see the width. The width is almost 2.4. Right? So I'm guessing this is a 2.4 window. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to just type in 2.4 in there. Right? And then I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it and then, move it and then snap it into place. Now I'm going to come in here, select this box, and then hit 2 on the keyboard. When I hit 2 on the keyboard, it puts me on the edge selection mode, and then I double click. When I double click, it's going to make, an all-round selection of the edge, that particular edge that I double clicked on. Right? I'll hit F3 on my keyboard to put this in wireframe mode, or I could have just come in here and selected wireframe mode. But shortcuts, people, shortcuts. It is very important. It enables you work faster. So I'm going to move it, and then I'm going to get 2-4 opening there. So I'm going to select this now, and I'm going to move it further downward. So I'm going to just select it and move it towards this place till we can't see it again. Right? Till we can't see it again. Let me just keep it here. I think here is okay. Right? I want to create, make this in deeper a little bit. Just deeper. And then maybe here a little bit more. It doesn't really matter. Okay? So let's just leave it like that. You know what? Let me just move it down a little bit. Okay? Just select it. And then let me drag it down a little bit. Right? And bring this one back a little bit. Okay, because it's as if I'm running away too much. So now, with this thing being here, what I just need to do is hit 2 on the keyboard. That puts me in this selection mode, and then I'll just drag it down like this, and then connect. S on my keyboard to turn this in on. Just when I hit S, you see it is activated now, so I can move this down here. Make sure you don't click on any other thing. That will now deselect you from the edge. So once you create, click the connect to, and it creates this thing, don't click on any other thing. Make sure you hold the axis you want and then drag it to the end of this box. That is going to create a 2-4 opening for you. Mind you, the first line we created up here is still serving as the, headroom for the two things. Now we need to create this depth that we're having here, this wall depth that we're having here. So how do we do that? Switch to polygon or hit 4 on your keyboard. That will put you in polygon mode, right? And then we come over here, select this and select that. Ensure that you turn off the snap toggle. And then what do we do next? Hold down shift. Okay? Make sure that you're selecting both of the openings. Don't delete it. Hold down shift and then drag it out. Okay? Drag it to this place. I think that's okay. Now, when we have dragged it out like that, then you can hit delete on your keyboard. Now, that will create an opening. So, if I switch to this, you're going to see an opening in there for the windows, right? For the windows, we're going to fit in window in that opening. Okay, so there we have it. Now, the next thing I want us to create, we have created the opening for the window. The next thing I want us to create, create the television wall. And then I want us to create the floor and then the ceiling. So let's go ahead and create this television wall. How do we create this television wall? Let me put it back in the wireframe mode. So we'll see there are lines on this television wall that we need to create. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to make sure that the box is selected. Let me come out of this so you don't get lost. I've selected the box. Then I'm going to hit 4 on my keyboard. 4. Okay, the 4 that is above the alphabet. All these numbers I've been, calling here are the numbers that are above your alphabet, not the number on the number pad for those of us using the full keyboard. So hit that 4 and then you select this and then you select that. First of all, when you are done modeling, I suggest you go back to this place, right? Go back here, I think here. And then, bring this thing back, bring it down to 720 as it was before. We don't need all that. Okay, we don't need all that stuff for us to be able to do what we want to do. Now, let me close this thing. We're done with it for now. So, the next thing I want us to do is to detach this from this box. But then, the way we are going to detach it, we are not going to detach it completely to the point that it's going to leave an opening there. We're going to detach it as a clone, which means this box is going to be complete. But then we are going to have something like this at the surface. Let me just show you by doing it. So I'm going to click on detach, but then this dialog box comes out. You see detach as clone, right? So I'm going to select that detach as clone and then hit OK. Now, when I do this, mind you, the box is selected, but then there's something else there that I can select. That is that surface that I just detached now. You can see we have the surface there detached as a clone. Now, when you hit escape on the keyboard, it, deselect, stop the movement and then keep the stuff you're moving around at the point where it was before I started, trying to move it around. I hope you understand. If you don't, please ask me questions in the comment section. I'm looking forward to that. So the next thing, okay, I want to do is to create these lines. Okay, when I create these lines, then we can make this thing have thickness, because right now it doesn't have thickness. If I should isolate it, you're going to see it is just a plain thin, film. For us to be able to do something with this that we're going to appreciate, it needs to have thickness. So I'm going to just, bring it back, and then I will select this. Mind you, the way we created the lines, on this wall so we can cut an opening through it is the way we're going to do this. But then to create these tiny openings in between here, it is a little bit, there's a way we're going to do it different from the way we did this one. So we're going to create a single line, and then from that single line, we're going to create a double line. Let me show you. So hit 2 on your keyboard. That is going to put you in what? In the edge selection mode, and then you select the edges. Now, because that stuff is the only thing I'm selecting, like the, stuff, the geometry we created by detaching as clone is the only thing I'm selecting. I can only select it when I'm in the sub-object mode, which is, selection mode, right? So because I'm in the edge selection mode, I can only select its edges, which I have done. So now I am going to start creating those geometries, vertical geometries. Remember, when I want to create vertical, I will select the horizontal lines. That way I can now create vertical lines. Because when I connect it, it is going to connect this to this to this, with a straight line, right? So I'm going to connect it. I know you figured it out. I know you understand it now, because we have done this a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into pan zoom mode, so I can see exactly where this line is, and then put it in that location. Okay, you can see all the axes here. If you're confused, it can be moving it. You can be moving it here while you look at it over here, right? So yeah. So I'm going to create another one just like we did now, and then move it to its position like so. Okay, you can choose to do something different. Okay, but then I just want to show you how to create this. So you can always create it anytime you see, anytime you want. So this is the last one. So there you go. So what I want to do now is I want to select all the lines that I just created. And how do I do that? You hold down Control and you double click. I'm going to select all of them. Now that I've done that, I want to create an opening with this line that I've just selected. And to do that, I'll just come over here to the chamfer tool. Click on the settings, not the chamfer, the settings. Now, when I click on this, I need to zoom in so you see what's going on. When I click on this, first of all, I want to add 5 because I want the gap between these things to be 5. You can see it has created a double line. But then we want this double line to be cut out. We want it to be open. And how do we do that? How do we make it open? How do we cut this place open? Right? By just coming over here, this one right here, and then checking it up. Once I check it on, it will cut it open. Right? So that is it. You check it off, the line comes back showing that it's not open. But you check it on, it's open. Right? So make sure it's checked and then you say, okay. Now they are open. Now the next thing I want us to do is to add thickness to this. And to do that, we need to use shell, the shell modifier. So when I click on it, it adds thickness to this, but it's just 1. So we just have to come over here at the top and then make it like 15. Right? I'll just say 12. 15 is okay, don't worry. And then we'll come down here and then turn on the straighten corners. That's going to make sure that everything is straight. None of them at some point will now start coming out and be, bending the way we don't want it to bend. So yeah, so I've created this one. If I should turn it on, you're going to see those lines in there. Right. So I will just select this camera, come inside here, go down, and then, come here and then turn in automatic vertical tilt so that the vertical lines are going to be straight. Right, that will solve that problem for us. Okay, so the next thing I want us to create is the console on the TV wall. So I'm going to hit F3 on my keyboard to, be seeing the console. So the console is on this wall. So I'm just going to come over here and then create a box. Don't worry about that. Just create a box. Now this box that I just created, I will just raise it up and then pan zoom mode again. Zoom in. Now when you are zoomed in, I don't want this, blue stuff to be showing. When I select an object, it is showing in a bluish form. For me to turn it off, I will just hit F2 on the keyboard. When I hit F2, you can see I'm toggling on and off now. That, keeps it off. So I will just move this box back a little bit to where it needs to be. In fact, see what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn this box to editable poly so I can move it around the way I want. So I'll just move it back, move it back, move it back, and then move it down. Oh my God, yes. Okay. So I'm going to hit 1 on the keyboard to be in the vertex mode. That will allow me, move this thing a little bit the way I want it. Okay. Here too. Right. So with this now, I can just move this one to the edge of the wall and then move it in. All right, so sorry. Here we go. Okay. That's it. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is to model the floor because we're done with the television wall. So to model the floor, we're just going to select the entire floor, which is, we're going to do it like this. Just like that. Make sure it's the floor. Right, so we're going to, just like we did the television wall, we're going to detach it, but then we're going to detach it as a clone. Okay, so yeah. And then I'm going to select that floor that we just created. I think I'm selecting it. Okay, I just realized that I've not been saving, so let me just go ahead and save. So I'm going to call this interior design tutorial. Interior modeling and render tutorial. And then I'll save. Okay, so when I do that, now I'm going to apply a plugin that I installed to this, like floor generator plugin here. Now, when you come over here, you notice that I have all these things here. These are called buttons, modifier buttons. You can set yours up very easily. Okay, configure modifier set. You can. When I come here, you're gonna see that I have show buttons checked on. Right? If I turn it off, it is going to be like your own. If you don't have these buttons, if I turn it back on, you're going to see them. Now, what if I want to modify the things or change the number, or because when you turn yours on, you're not going to have these things that I'm having here. Yours might be different from mine. So how do you get yours to look like mine? How do you get to set whatever you want in this button? right? You're just going to click on here. You're going to see configure modifier sets, right? I have 12 buttons. You can have 14. All you have to do is type in 14 and then hit enter. It's going to give you 2 more buttons. And then when you see what you want to have here, you're just going to drag it and then drop it inside there. Just that easy. Okay, let's just say you want to put, I already have a extrude, so let's find something else to put. Do I have mirror? I don't have mirror. So I'll just drag mirror into this place and I'll say, okay, now you see I have bend, I have mirror. Right, so it's that easy. So you type in the number of modifier buttons you want to have, and then hit enter, and then you go and start dragging the modifiers that you want. But make sure that the modifier you're dragging into these spaces are modifiers that you already know how to use. Right, so let's just get on with it. Okay, so the next thing I want us to do is to create the floor generator. Now, back to what I wanted to tell you before I got carried away with the modifier buttons. Now, this floor generator is a third-party plugin or add-on, whatever you want to call it, that you get from CG Source. Okay, CG Source. Let me just show you. So, CG Source they are a company. This is their website where you can go and get floor generator. Okay, you can get the free version. For the purpose of this tutorial, what we're going to be using is the free version. The free version has only this pattern, the standard running bond, right? But when you pay, okay, when you get the full version, you're going to have all these ones, right? But with free version, you can get started. And that is what we're going to be using, the free version, which is this. I'll show you how to set it up and everything. And also, you need to get multi-texture map. Okay, this one is totally for free. All you need to do is to sign in. Okay, if you have not signed up before, sign up and then you get this, because we're going to be using it as well as the floor generator for this tutorial. So when you download it and you unzip it, you're going to see the instruction for how to install it inside the folder. Okay, the zipped folder, right? And also there's a video I've done, 2 videos I've done in this channel where I showed you how you can install it. Now you have to copy it and you have to paste it into your plugin folder, your 3ds Max plugin folder. Okay, so when you do that, you can now come back here and let's continue. Right, so I'm going to click on this floor generator. But if you don't have this floor generator in here and you want to apply it after you have installed it, of course, you just come over here and search floor generator. It is going to come out. It's the same thing. Clicking it here or clicking it here is the same thing. This here is just to make it closer and easier to me. All right, so it is time for setup. So I'm going to come up here and we're going to start setting things up. Okay, I need to focus actually on the floor generator that I'm setting. So first of all, let's start with the extrude. I like to make the thickness of the floor, 10 millimeters, right? So 8 here, and then here 2, right? This also adds to the height. I want to show you the bevel and the extrude all adds to the height. So at the end, this 8 plus 2 will give you 10. Let me show you why I say adds to the height. Let me isolate it and show you. Now this is the floor generator. Right, that's the floor generator. This is the 8 millimeter of the height. That's the extrude, and then this bevel is the 2 millimeter. So from here to here is going to give you 10 millimeters. So if I add 0 here, you can see that goes away. So if I make it 2, you can see it shooks it up. Make it 3, it even grows higher. Right. So for this, floor, floorboards, wooden floorboards, the grout length, I normally set it at 0. Okay, if it is a floor tile, just leave it at 0.2 or 0.5, depending if I want it to show. But here, I like to leave it at 0, grout length 0. Then the max length, here, we're going to make this 1.5, right? And then for this one, we're going to make it 250. I want this to be, fat one. I want this to be a fat, floorboard. Right, so we have this now. Is there anything else I'm missing? For now, there's nothing. Okay, unless you want to move things around, but it doesn't really matter to me. Okay, unless you want to shift, offset X and Y axis. You see, when I'm doing this now, you can see the floorboard moving. If you want to shift, if there's a part of this floorboard that you need to be in front of the camera, you can do that, but it doesn't really matter. Trust me, it doesn't. So that is that for the floorboard. We have done that. So bring everything back. Now for the ceiling, the only thing we need to do for this ceiling is to add these two lines. Okay. Let's put a wireframe over these two lines for what? The light. Okay, so to do that, very simple, just like we created these lines, we're going to create a double line over there, and then we're going to create an opening. But before we do that, we need to create what? A ceiling. So we just select all these lines. Okay, let's make sure that's yes. Make sure that that is what we're selecting. And then we're going to detach it as clone. Just like we've been doing here since. Detach as clone, yeah. And then I'm going to select only it. Okay. So, what to do next? I'm going to edge, select edge selection mode, and then connect it, and then drag it till I come into view. Hold on a minute. Oh no. This is where we need to be. Right, this is where we need to be. So I'm just going to connect it again and then move it. I hope, yes. Okay, this is it. Move it till I get into the right position. So I'm going to Control K. That is my shortcut for pan zoom mode. If you don't have that, like we have been doing, click the plus button and then come in here. You can see Control K. You set it. Okay, you come over here to customize. You see hotkey editor. In here, you select whatever you want and you attach your shortcut to it. It's quite simple, right? Maybe one of these days we're going to talk about it. Let me know in the comment section if you want us to set up our, what is it called again? Shortcuts for 3ds Max. If you want that, please comment in the comment section, please. If I don't see your comments, we'll do something else next. I'm back. Okay, I'm back. I know I went away for a while now, but I'm back. So connect again. So just move it till we, zoom in, zoom, and then yeah. Try as much as you can to get it as accurately as you can. You mustn't get it 100%, right? You just have to be, do the best you can. That's all you can do, right? So just, and as you're doing this, make sure you're having fun. I know I'm having fun. So yeah. So, the one I'm selecting is, I selected all the ceiling and I detached it as a clone. So that clone that I just created is what I'm using to do this, which is why when I'm selecting the edge, it's not selecting any other thing apart from that. So yeah, I'm moving it and I'm moving it. I'm moving it. I'm moving it. I'm moving it. Yeah, somewhere like that. Mind you, when we want to put in the, what is it called? The light, because we'll create this opening, we put in the light. When we want to put in the light, we might still need to make this in bigger so it can accommodate the light. So for now, just trace it as much as you can. So when the time comes, if you need to, you will do that. So now I'm going to put the shell modifier on it, so to add thickness. Right, so let me see the direction it went. It went downward, which is very good. Right, so yeah. Okay, 15. Let me make it 50. Right. 50 is not bad. So I'm going to select this and then convert to editable poly. Right. Yes, editable poly. And then I'm going to isolate it. Now I'm going to find the ones that are double. Put it in here. And then for my keyboard, which is this, polygon, just select it, hold down Control so you can select it. Double clicking will select the entire face. That's not what we want to do. That is not what I for one want to do. So I'm just gonna hold down Shift and then move it up. Whenever you feel like you can stop. So Control K, or let me just click here and exit. That's it. So yeah, as you can see, we have our floor, we have our ceiling. Let me just, quickly make some adjustment. Viewport preference, put it in. So the ceiling, so that the ceiling will be visible and not black like it used to be. So what did I just do? Click on here, the S, whatever. The place to select the type of view you are seeing in your viewport. Go down to viewport preferences. Come over here to settings. Here, set this to double. 2 default lights. And then, yeah, I think we just clear up for you. So when I hit F3, okay, as you can see, now I'm going to bring everything back. You can see we're already having the scene, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create the material for the floor. Every other thing here can be white. Okay, every other thing here is white. Let's look at the image again. It's white, right? Just that this one is a little bit off-white from the normal wall and the ceiling. But then you don't really need to do much there. You just need to adjust the color. But the floor, we're going to create this floor. Okay, Samuel, a friend of mine, asked me when I posted this image on my WhatsApp status. He asked me, how did you create this floor? Now, this video, I'm doing this specifically for you, Samuel. So I hope you're watching. So select this floor. Let's isolate it. I'm going to show you how. It's not even difficult to create that floor. But I'm going to show you how I did that. Okay, so first of all, let's bring out the material editor. Right, so we already have this material applied. So I'm just going to hold down Shift and then duplicate it. You can create a new one, but I just want us to start from where we already, are. So I'm going to apply this one to it. Right, and then I'm going to what again now? IOR for this floor. I'm going to make it 2. That is going to increase the glossiness. It's going to make it, look like a varnished wood, like a wood that was treated, not just sandpaper. It just vanished, all this chemical. That is what that is going to do for us. Here, I'm going to change this thing to 0. What this means is that the glossiness is at max now. Okay, the glossiness is max. If you don't want to be seeing roughness, if you want to be seeing glossiness instead, what you can do is just come down here to the advanced option, change this roughness to glossiness. Now, when I go back here, you're going to see that the glossiness is 1 and 1 is the maximum, right? So let me just quickly rename this and call it floorboard. Okay, so having done that, that is basically the things you need to do about setting this material. So the next thing I want us to do is to create a multi-textured map. Mind you, when I was showing you Floor Generator, I told you to download this multi-texture. Okay, it is going to help you, right, to get this, materials, because we're going to be using different materials for this. We're going to be using different. That's why when you look at this thing, you're going to see different types of grain. You're going to see this one is different from this one, and this one is different from, all of them are different. Okay, we have 8 different, textures that we're going to use to create this thing, right? Yeah. So the textures that we're using, you can also get them from CG Source. All right. So everything is there. You come over to textures. You're going to see, different wooden textures. You can see wood floor. Then you can see when you go down. Hold on a minute. You can see these are the different textures that you can get, right? So multi-textures, you can see a lot of them here. Okay, you can see the oak, you can see what's not, so you can get them from here too. But then you need to buy credits to be able to get them. 20 credits, all those things, you need them to be able to get them, right? So that is where you can get your textures from, right? So moving on, all right. I'm going to come over here because I've installed mine. I've copied it where I need to copy it. Like I told you, when you get it, it is going to give you the instruction inside the zip folder. So you do where to get it. So I'm going to get the multi-texture out. And then how we load this stuff is by selecting it. You see manage texture. Click on manage texture. Then click on add bitmaps. Then I'm going to set it, sort by or group by, however, sort by name, right? So I'm going to select this one. I think this is the one I used. And I'm going to click on open. Then I close it for now. And then I'm going to drag that same thing out again. And I'm going to do the same thing. This time I want to bring in the glossiness 8 again. So I'm going to say, yeah. It's going to bring them in. And I'm going to close it. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag it into this place. Base color. And then this one, I'm going to drag into base gloss. Okay. Yeah. So, but for now, I'm going to close it. It is in here already. Don't worry about the way the thing is displaying. When we render it, it's going to come out really nice. Okay. But then that is not all. But for now, I'm going to leave it like this. For us to do interactive render here, we need to have light, some sort of light in this scene. And for the purpose of that, we're going to use environment light and just hit it on your keyboard, right? Or you can just come in here. This thing I just brought out here, you can just come into rendering. You're going to see environment. That is, you can see shortcut 8 on your keyboard. So click on it, click here, select Corona Sky, and then say OK. Now I'm going to click here, open here, click this lock button to make sure that each time I hit render, it is going to render from here. Inside performance, I'm going to turn off this denoising during rendering. Put it in none. I don't like that. I just want us to, set some things up. Right? So I'm going to start interactive rendering. So I'm going to open this. Let me bring it to this screen. And I'm going to hit render. This is what we're going to see. Right? We're not really seeing anything here because the lighting is not enough. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a very quick tone mapping, right? So I'm going to raise this thing up, increase it. In fact, let me just type it in. Let me type in 3. Let me start from there, right? So the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to this off for now. Add to clamp it a little bit, right? This is, much. And because we don't have windows in here, it is, part of what is making the entire thing, too. But I want to show you this floor slab, this floorboard that we have here. So I'm going to reduce this a little bit and then add this and then reduce it to 0.2, thereabouts. So you can see the floor already there being glossy. But then I need to add windows to this and then add curtains, copy the floors and all that, and then every other thing. Right? So I have done this project before. Okay, I've done it before. So I'm just going to open it. This is the one I've done before. So I'm going to open it and then just copy all these things that I've used before. Okay, I will just copy them into this scene. Just to save time, right? Just to save time. But then the other materials, we're going to create them. We're not going to create the material for the sofa, for the curtain, for the windows, all those things. They came with material. So normally, if you want, you can adjust this material to suit what you want, but this material are just fine for the purpose of what we're doing today. So, okay. In tutorials where we need to adjust material, we're going to adjust material. But the main thing that we need to do, I want us to do in this tutorial is just to model this scene. And I said there's something else we need to do on the outside, which is set up our exterior. Okay, we're going to set it up later. But for now, let's just copy this and then paste it into, paste it into the scene where we need it to be. Let me just take a little bit of water. Yeah. Now I'm going to paste it. Copitor, in case you're not used to Copitor, Copitor is like a script that used to copy things from one scene to the other, right? So that is what I just did. copied this from one scene to the other. So yeah, for me to be able to place this, I need to turn this thing on, right? As you can see, it is just going to fit right into this. First of all, let me just keep this and then start moving things around to fit it, into the right position to the best of my ability. I think this is it for this one. Yeah. Then for this. Oh, sorry. I did not select this. Oh my God. Let me just open it again and select it. This is the thing I didn't select. Yeah, it's in here now. So let me just move it into position. Yes, sir. I want to figure out, like, I don't even know where I'm at. Okay, then I'm going to shift it. Yes. Yeah, that. Okay, I think this is close to it. This is as close as you can get. Let me see this. All right. Okay, let me move this one into. Okay, you can see that the window I did before is slightly bigger than this one, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to adjust it to fit into, the appropriate position. So to do that, the window I'm using, I'm going to put the link to all this stuff I'm using in the description. So you do well to check that out and then if you want to use the exact ones I'm using. If not, you can use the window you have. Those are perfectly okay. Okay, you don't need to use the exact thing I'm using. So just raise it up a little bit so, cover up. Now, because the windows, I make sure they are the same, I'm just going to delete this one and then copy this one into position. Right? Yeah. Oh, I also brought in the television. That's good. Yeah. So now I want to move the curtain into its appropriate position, which is here. Let me see. Yeah, exactly. There. This one. Oh, this thing has just fallen into place. That's just beautiful. So I'll just select this and then I don't know. I think this is it. No, that's not it. So this one now, I just have to. Yep. Okay. That's cool. So I'll move this one back. Yeah. Not bad at all. So this, and this. I don't know, but this one, I figure this one is going to be okay, wherever it is. So yeah. So just hold on a minute. Let me check something. Oh, just move this one. Yeah. Let me check out this one again. So you can see it is not lapped in the way I was lapping it before. So yeah. So I think I have it more accurately now. Yeah. So yeah, let's try the interactive rendering again and see what we're going to get. Now, as you can see, when all these things are in here, the scene now is, a bit darker. So that means we need to increase this, right? We need to increase this. And then let's just set up this. I'm going to make this like 40. But then these ones, I'm going to reduce them. Okay, this 0.7 is not cut. Let me just see. Here 2.7. You can see that the bloom is still very loud. So I'm going to just crank it down to like 0.2. Now this floor is very reflective, right? But then it's not that bad, as you can see. So the ceiling is not giving me the appropriate lighting that it should. See. Okay, so let's go ahead and apply white material to this. Something whitish. So this is the wall. So I'll select this and then make it like 200. Okay. Okay, the wall is not bad. Let me see. It's not. It's low resolution. Okay, this is actually too glossy, right? So what I'm going to do, no. Okay. Hold on a minute. The wall is not even there yet. It's still showing. Let's make it, let me just select everything now and then make it like very bright. But then for the television wall, we're going to make it a little bit, not that bright. Let me just apply this one to it now. So listening, yeah. So it's like, so this floor is not giving me what I want yet in terms of, the type of glossiness that I need. To go back to the floor material, okay, for us to start working, we need to, hold on a minute. Sorry, let me select this floorboard again. Let's keep this thing back in roughness, right? Okay, so when I change the roughness, you realize that the floor goes into being very, very, not reflective at all, right? So it being like that now, sorry, let me just check something. Yeah, roughness 0, which means it's supposed to be glossy. So that means we need to come over here and then reduce this thing, the base rough, we reduce it to 30. So when we do that, you're going to see the type of glossiness you want to see, right? Because this is at 100, the base color doesn't even matter. I can select this now and then change it to whatever color I want, and it won't even make any effect. The place the effect is going to come out, let's just say, the place the effect is going to come out is if I come over here and I reduce this to 50. So base color doesn't even really matter. Okay, if I reduce it, you will not notice that because the color I haven't put here is the color of the wood. So if I make it like blue now, you're going to see bluish something happening here now. So it doesn't really matter so far that the diffuse is left at what? It's left at 100. I don't know why I just told you that, because that doesn't really matter. So the warmth. Right? So the warmth of this, we're just going to crank it up a little bit, to get that warmth that we are looking for. Right? So for I'm going to add LUT. Sorry, not this. So right click and delete. I wanted to add LUT. Okay, turn it on, and then we're going to take it down a notch. 0.4. Right? So the next thing I want us to add is what? We're going to add a vignette. And we're going to put it at like 0.6. So it's just going to add this, tint around the edges, a black tint around the edges. So I'm going to take, desaturate this image a little bit. So as you're doing it, you're looking at it to, seeing what you're doing. I want to restart this interactive rendering so that it is going to give me a very bright, like a full resolution kind of image so that I will see what I'm doing. Okay. So there's something I need to do to throw in more light into this scene, and that is to add a plane, right? To add a plane on the floor. That is going to help reflect light into this scene. So going to add a plane. By default, all the objects I create, comes with white, this custom color white, current color white. So if yours is not like that, I suggest you set it like that. But if you cannot set it like that, you just have to come over here and apply material, white material to this, right? Apply this material to this. That is going to help you throw in, more light into your scene. And then you can increase the brightness a little bit, right? Okay, so the next thing I want to do, wait, hold on a minute. I didn't create the material for that, for the television wall. So I'm just going to select it now, right? Call this TV wall. So apply this to it, come up here, reduce it just a little bit, increase the glossiness a little bit, reduce this to like 0.3. All right, so then the next thing I want us to do is this wood. Okay, I'm just going to select this, call it wooden console. So we're going to select this and then select the glossiness map and then bring both of them in. That's all you need for that wood. So I'm going to select it. And that is it. Right, you can go ahead and then, let me just see how it's looking. Okay, it's stretched. So just apply UVW map to it. Put it in box. Now, it is not the direction I want it to be. It is being vertical. I want it to be horizontal. So I'm just going to select this, select the gizmo, and then select the rotation tool and rotate it this way. But then I want to turn on the angle snap toggle, right? So it can be snapping. Right now it is set to 45 degrees, so it's snapping to 45 degrees. That way it is easier for me to get 90 degrees. So as I'm rotating, you're seeing it rotating here. Or I can just come in here and type in 90. That is going to give me what I'm looking for. Click the real world map size and then I'll check it again. Now you can find the appropriate one, not this one. This. All right. So this doesn't really matter. Just make it, do it as well as you can. And then that's it. So I forgot to, chamfer the edges of this. And that is not good. So let's just chamfer it. Hold on a minute. Yes, something like that. So to chamfer, just to click on chamfer and then come down here, smooth chamfers only, not the entire object. Right? So having done that, I'll just make here 5 and here 3. I'll do the same for here, this television wall. I hope that is what I'm selecting. So I'm going to convert to editable poly and then chamfer it. See what it looks like without chamfer, smooth chamfer edges only. You can see it is bending it in ways that we don't want. Okay, as you can see. So what we are going to do is just go down there and then change it to smooth chamfer. Smooth chamfers only. It is going to straighten it. And then we're going to go back there. 5 and then I think 3 is okay. Right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do it in a way so that I can see what we have done so far. So that's going to load. Now there's something I want us to do for this floor. You can see it is nice. Everything is, the reflection is reflecting. Everything is nice. But then there's something I want us to really do, for this floor. And that thing is, I want this floor to have different shades in different places. It is having it, but it is not pronounced. And to do that is actually very simple. And I'm going to show you how now. Okay, so I'm just going to keep this thing. Let me make it big. On this side, stop. Let's start again. Yes. So this is it. Sorry, let's allow it load. Okay, so this is it. What we need to just do here is just to come over here. Let me zoom into this place. Come over here. Double click on this multi-texture. Come down here in the gamma. Random plus or minus, put 0.1. When I do that, it is going to make some thicker. It is going to make some lighter. As you look now, you're going to see it. If you want to see it very well, if I type in 1, you're going to see it. It is going to, But then, the beauty of things like this is in its subtleness. It will make it very subtle. It is going to, make it look realistic. If you do it too much, like let's say if I make it 0.2, it is going to you can see it is strong. It is too strong. So let's just say maybe 0.1. Okay, that's it. Just 0.1. I think 0.1 is the best. Right? Yeah, so when you look at it, it is going to be there. and you're going to notice it. You can just come here also and play around with this one. You can add 0.1 there too and see what it's going to give you. If you like what it gives you, you can move on with it. Saturation too, you can also do the same thing. You can do 0.1 there, and then you see what it's going to do. But normally, I just leave it at 0. Where I need, the work in is in the gamma, and then it has already done it. Right, so yeah, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Then I think this ceiling doesn't have the material that others have. So I'm just going to go here. I think it does. It actually does have the material that others have. Let me see. Let's just make this 230. Right. What about this? 230, every one of them. So at this point, all of them are now 230, 230, 230. So now, last but not the least, we're still going to add this. We're going to add this light, but you already know how to do that. All you have to do is just, drag the thing, use copitor or just drag it into the scene and then position it in the right place. Right, so now what I want us to do, most importantly, is to add our environment outside. So how do we do that? We do that by creating a plane, first and foremost. Create a plane. All right, make the plane big enough to cover everywhere. Now, sometimes I curve this plane. Other times, I just leave it. So ensure that you're at 90 degrees, and then you move it, to where you want. Move it up a little bit. Yes. So the next thing I want to do, let's take this thing down out of view. The next thing I want to do is to import the maps I'm going to use for this. So let's go back. This is it. This is the map I'm going to use. So I'm going to open my material editor and I'm going to drag that map into there. And that's it. So I'm going to bring a Corona light material. I'm going to apply that light material. Let me just do this in such a way that you're not confused. Let me bring it to this side. So I'll select this, apply this light material to this. Before I apply this, this bitmap, I'll first of all pass it through the Corona color correction. Then I'll pass this one in through this, place. Okay, so let's see. I'm not seeing anything right now. Okay, I'm seeing actually. But I want to see it very well. So I'm going to select this and then click here. It is going to show it very, very well, very, very proper. So for now, I'm done with this. We're going to get back to it, but for now, I'm done with it. Let's work on this first and get it right. So I'm going to apply a UVW map on it. Right, that's okay. Now I'm going to rotate it, but then I want to rotate just the gizmo. No, select the gizmo and then rotate it in the right appropriate axis. Once you get to 90, let go, and then I'm going to do this. Okay, so I'm going to use the gizmo and then take it down. Sorry. I need to make this plane bigger. So when I come here, yeah. So now let's go ahead and do what we need to do. Yeah. I'm going to select this gizmo. Yeah, I'm going to position it in the right place. So that's it. Let's go ahead and render and see what we're going to get. That's interactive rendering. As you can see, we have an exterior this thing. So what we are going to do now is we're going to reopen that material editor and we're going to make some settings in here. And those settings is just to come here and then turn off this emit light. All right, so when we stop emitting light, the light from outside passes through. Now, all those places that are looking like they are, you know, too much bloom and all that, all those things are gone now. So let me just, you know, do interactive render so we see what we're going to get at the end of the day. Right? So there you have it. Okay, this might be a little bit dark. I want to adjust it a little bit because the darkness is now too noticeable. I don't like it. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to open the material editor, material editor. Pardon me. So I'm going to select this place. Just do that. I'm going to make it 200. Okay, yeah, a little bit. The other one is 230. This is 200. Yes. Right. So I'm going to say okay. Now you can see with this now, I'm able to create something that is very close to what we have before in the image. All right. So I'm going to check if I have any map that I've not relinked. Everything is relinked as they should. Right. So I'm going to close all this and then hit save. Okay. Now I'm going to pause this and then import this. And then when I do that, I'm going to render. Right. So see you just in a few seconds. So as you can see, I've added this, you know, I added the light and also added this. You know, all you have to do is just draw a line. For this particular one, I just did it, you know, inside 3D. I draw a line. When you draw a line above the curtain, you can now enable render. Okay. Set the size, whatever you want. Okay. Just like that. Can now move it into position. Okay, let me just make it big so you notice it. So you can see. Set it up just above and then chuck the curtain inside it. Or if you have the curtain that has that type of gray, you can use it. Right, so let's just do interactive render and see what you're having now. Right, so there you have it. We have this, we have that. Sorry, wait a minute. We have this, we have that, and at the end of the day, the scene is ready. I'm going to just stop this for now, and then we're going to go in here and set up this for final render. So I'm going to hit here, render setup. We already set this before initially when we were starting. So I'll come in here, set our denoiser to Corona high quality. All right, and that is it. There's nothing else we need to do here. Okay, just open this. Or you can just reduce your own render if you want, or increase it. It mustn't be this. You can type in 8,000 in there, and then you have a very wonderful render to show for it. So, in fact, let me go ahead and increase my own. Okay, but let me reduce it. Actually, I'm not going to increase it. I'm going to reduce it so that we can finish this. In fact, yeah, I want to show you how to save. So I want it to just finish quickly. Well, you can increase yours, you know, very well so that you can, right? So open this and then render. So see when this is done so I can show you. I'll turn this thing on. Just leave it as it is. Just turn it on. See when this render is done so we can proceed to saving out this, right? Yeah. All right, so it is time for us to save out. Okay, so to do that, first of all, I have to stop this rendering. Okay, when we were setting our final setup, like our final render setup before rendering, you remember that I went inside the render setup and I actually I came over here in the denoising and I set it to Corona high quality, right? So when I click this thing one time, it is going to start denoising. As you can see, denoising. It's going to start denoising this scene for me. Now, before I save out, I can actually use this post that has to do a little bit of tone mapping. Can increase it a little bit more to increase the warmth of the scene. As you can see, I just did that. So after doing that, We're waiting for this denoiser to finish. It is done now. So everything is denoised, rendered and denoised. Okay, I'm just going to click here. This icon here is the saving, it's a save button. So I'm going to click it and I'm going to select where I want it to be. So I can just call it render, right? Render. And I'm going to set this thing to PNG or JPEG, whatever I want. But let's do PNG. Now, because of my color management and my color space in 3ds Max, this is the way mine is. Now, if you are still using the gamma color space, just leave it in automatic and then hit save. But for this one, I like to, do some little bit, set it to display and view transform, leave everything the way they are and then hit save. Okay. If you don't know how to change your color space, okay, comment in the comment section. That might be our next video where we're going to now, talk about it in full. So I will show you how to, the proper settings. But then from 3ds Max 2025, okay, your color space, your color settings will come in off the, off the jump with OCIO, right? It's either you're in gamma or you're in OCIO. So right now I've changed my 2024 to OCIO, which is where you're seeing that stuff when I wanted to save, right? You're seeing all these things, the color management stuff, color space and all those things when I want to save. Okay, other than that, you're just going to see gamma, you're going to see automatic recommended, all those things. Yeah. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like. And if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. Not only subscribing, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future tutorials and videos when I do drop them. Thank you very much for watching this video. I am going to see you in the next one. Goodbye.